So I'm the community manager at Aria, and I'm involved as with the marketing as well. So yes, that's basically what I'm doing there.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm Ryu. I am, I guess, the guy who came up with the idea. Let's see. I'll start off, I guess, from the beginning. So, the idea came to me like late last year, for Arya Token, and it quickly evolved. So, a background on me, I do have two daughters that are heavily into well, my oldest is really into gaming, particularly Minecraft and Roblox. So that's where I got the idea to combine a token into the whole gamification of things. In terms of Arya Token, okay, so what is Arya Token? Arya Token is a reflection token where we pay out rewards in USDC stablecoin. So our whole mechanism is there's no APY or anything like that. We are purely transaction based, right? So with every transaction, there is a fee, and then the fees then get split up into a few things. You can one of them is being the rewards, the other one is being the liquidity pool, and then there's a little bit also for the dev team slash marketing. Um, the the rewards then get you can claim them on our portal once we launch. So and like I said, we're purely transaction based, so we had to figure out mechanisms on how to drive transactions for our system. The way we're doing that is through gamification. So we're taking it in many phases, I should say, with the first one being the jackpot type of games. So think like a lottery and slot machines. So that'll be like immediately after launch. We are actually actively developing a project that we've codenamed Arcade 22. Arcade 22 is the equivalent of a think old school arcades where you pay to play games. However, our Arcade 22 will actually award you with weekly giveaways and prizes. So there will be, rewards there for playing the games on a weekly basis, as well as possibility to win NFTs. That it will be maybe even add some functionality to the games. So think very simple games, like arcade type of games. So there will be a lot of games we're initially testing the integration on the portal itself, and I'm happy with how the development's going on there. After that, we are looking to enter the metaverse with. So I mentioned my daughters earlier, and they love Roblox. I want to build the Roblox of blockchain, and I do not want it to be something that kids cannot play. So the idea behind it is to abstract the blockchain as much as possible, but then offer the experience for users to be actually able to take their belongings that they have within the game and take it outside as well, right? So think so Arya token will be the utility in all these games. You'll be able to use it as in-game currency. You'll be able to purchase items. All the items in game will be NFTs. So think vehicles, houses, clothing, accessories, animals, everything and anything will be a NFT that could be rare, seasonal, maybe a once in a like you can only get it once and all that. So we will introduce all that. Um, you'll be able to buy it with other cryptos but with a discount with Aria. So that's there. Trying to think what else we are doing. It's a lot. Maybe you should get some questions.
Yeah, for sure. I do see that we do have one question so far. It is zoned, and he asks what separates Aria from all the other reflection tokens. I do think you touched up on that a bit, but is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I think our big thing is we're trying to do the gamification, right? Like with other reflection tokens, at least that I've seen, They're trying to do it more with financial instruments, right? Like trying to create bonds and other mechanisms to generate the transactions and to sustain the reflection. We're doing it purely based on interaction and utility, right? Like we want to create utility for the token. We want to create a very interesting type of game environment where people will end up spending money. And then I keep going back to my daughter, right? Like I think she is my inspiration for all of this, so I give her a lot of credit in this. She spends a lot of money, to be honest, on online gaming, and I think I shared last week a statistic with Thor where in 2020. $54 billion was spent in-game purchases around the world. 54 billion, and none of that the players own, right? Like it's not like something that you can take out of that game and take it to somewhere else. So like with our idea, like we're gonna, obviously we're making it an NFTs and Aria is the utility token for the in-game, but like we're hoping that eventually you'll be able to take whatever we generate and maybe pop it into another game as well.
Yeah, I like that a lot. There's definitely a big market to tap into, so it's awesome to hear that you guys are gamifying a rebase token. It's definitely a unique thing that I haven't heard of before. I don't know that they don't exist.
Reflection, not I would say reflection,
yes,
not
yeah, sorry, I misspoke there. My bad. A question I had then would be on the development progress. So have you guys started making this game, and then how many developers are on the team contributing to this?
Yeah, good question. So currently the team is 5. That is 3 developers and 2 non-developers. I'm currently the developer primarily focused on the whole blockchain side of things, and we have 2 other developers that are actively working on the Arcade 22 platform. That includes developing the mini games as well as developing the platform itself. We are actively looking to grow the team as well. The more heads we have, the quicker we will deliver, obviously. In terms of the whole metaverse game, so far it's all still in the idea phase. We are going to be looking to moving into the getting some concept art created for that in the coming months. We do have a roadmap where we're going to be planning to have by next year, correct me if I'm wrong, Thor, I think you know the exact date. I think it's Q2 of next year for a playable demo. So that's kind of timeline wise.
Yes.
All right. Right on. That's cool. I know 3 developers is much better than 1. So what exactly are the different backgrounds for everybody? Then can you jump in a little bit on that?
Sure. Okay, I'll speak for myself. So my background, I've been a software engineer for 12 years now. I've been primarily front end. The last 5 years, I've been full stack. I've been working for, it's not a secret, I'm an engineer at Amazon. So lots of good experience there on large scale kind of infrastructure development on things. In terms of my blockchain experience, I've been an investor for a long time, since 2017. But in terms of developing stuff, I just started in December last year. But Solidity is I would say, not a hard language to learn, and it's easy to pick up for developers. In terms of the other team, one of the devs that is working on Arcade 22, Shadow, he's also a colleague of mine in the real world. We actually live pretty close to each other. And then we have Ixposoro. He's a C# engineer, so backend, but he is focusing on the game development, as C# is actually the language used for the Unity engine that we're using to build the games on. And then we have Ichigo. He's our, I would say, CFO at this moment. And then King Thor, if you want to introduce your background and stuff.
Yeah, sure. So, mine's short and sweet, actually. I'm an accountant for a bit over 10 years now, And yeah, that's basically all I've been doing. And then I've been in crypto since 2017.
Right on. Yeah, it sounds like you guys.
And I
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I secretly dropped the reference to him the other day that he's Ben Affleck, the accountant.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are very capable people with the backgrounds that you guys have to kind of pull off the arcade games. And speaking of that, like we had a question from Abaheim. He said, "You said that there would be slot machines and arcade games. Would it include card games as well, like poker, baccarat, etc.? Like for more of so like an adult gambling section, I think is what he's referring to."
Yeah, I think so. Yes, we definitely talked about the gambling side of things. I think we have to be careful in terms of the laws behind it, right? In terms of like the whole online gambling and regulations and stuff. We are definitely a company that is trying to play by the books, and like we've even had legal advice recently. So possibly exploring it, but I think there might be restrictions in terms of like how quickly we can move on that. So
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
hope
And
that
then-
helps with it.
And then a follow-up question to that would be, if you were to go the route of that, how would you do kind of like a KYC to verify age so that you don't have, like 12-year-olds gambling with their mom's money?
Yeah, that would be another big issue. I can tell you that on our arcade platform, there will be authentication. So like you need to log in as a user and everything.
Okay,
It's not just a pure blockchain type of environment.
awesome. So then another question from Zoned is there a chance to eventually have events like, for example, Fortnite has done live concerts? It's a pretty
Yeah,
broad
that
question,
is
I guess, but
yeah, I mean, once we enter the metaverse, I think everything's possible at at that point, right? Um,
yeah.
yeah, I would love to get to that point. Like that's like ultimate goals right there, right? Live events, all of us attending.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Then one question I had is, so obviously you guys are more focused towards the kids audience, like you said, with your daughter being a big inspiration for all the games that are going to come out. What is kind of your marketing plans then to target those kids or parents of the kids? Like, can you just touch up a little bit on that?
Yeah, so I think so me being a parent, right? When I look at those games, I look at like what kind of parental features there is. I can tell you I've had a few run-ins where she's exchanged phone numbers on Roblox, and it's like, who are you talking to? Some stranger online?
Ooh.
So I think our big piece that I will want to focus is definitely the moderation, right? Especially kids, because we will be focusing on kids. I'm thinking probably our initial audience will be teenagers, so I wouldn't be as worried during that audience. But once we have younger kids joining, like 8 and up, I would say, like that's when I would be looking. It's like, hey, whatever is happening on that game needs to be moderated. Like we need to look out that people are not like I'm just throwing out examples from my own experience. Is like she's not talking about where she's living from. She's not saying her address online. So it's a lot of moderation around there. Like I think we will need to invest. Um, so just to keep the kids safe, which will be a plus on the parents' side, and if we can gain the trust on the parents, I think we will get more gamers to play.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a big concern with games like Roblox is the moderation and making sure that kids are staying safe away from, the different sketchy individuals that can just hop on the game whenever they like. So it's awesome to hear that you're keeping that in account. I think that'll definitely play a role in a kind of a long-term sustainable game ecosystem. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, 100% on that.
Yeah, looks like we got a couple other questions. Spock asks, are there laws on the metaverse in games like that? Interesting to see how they would enforce that. I guess, like, what regulations are kind of in place right now? Like, are there things that you aren't allowed to do in the metaverse or are allowed to do that might get regulated in the future?
I don't know metaverse specific. Like currently, I think any of the legal stuff that we're going through is primarily token wise, right? Like in terms of like what to say and what not to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give some spoilers here, but I'll be touching on this more on my Friday AMA within our own server. But it's like certain terms that you can use and not use to be labeled as security, right? So like if people actually take a look at our website, they might have noticed over the last few days that we've been making small changes here and there on wording, like we remove passive income. Like that is a no-no. Like you get labeled as a security by just saying that, right? Like so it's little things that we're taking proactive steps, and literally like Arya Token is our in-game utility. It's just that we're offering a reward, and I think our rewards can be comparable to what a credit card is offering to its users, right?
Right. I actually did speak with a securities lawyer, and he said that the only crypto tokens that aren't labeled as securities are those that are in a play to earn game or just a purely donation or charity token. So I think, like you said, if you do word those correctly, I don't think you'll have any, or you hopefully shouldn't have any legal issues with that unless, you know, regulations change, which they obviously can. But
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
that's
And,
good
and then it's like, where do you live, right? That also impacts on
yes.
all the regulations. So
Yes, that is very important as well. But yeah, it's awesome to hear that you guys are taking all of those different aspects into consideration, because a lot of these DeFi projects, you know, they just say, oh, passive income, you know, my token's going to the moon, you guys should buy it now. Like that's a one-way
yeah.
ticket to getting shut down.
Yeah, like I think if anything, this shows how serious we are, right? Like I am like this is not like a side hobby for us, and it's not like a quick pump and dump and rug pull kind of project or anything like that, right? Like we're looking to make this our full-time job. Like all of us on the team currently still have a 9 to 5, but we're looking to actively make this our 9 to 5, and you know we're looking at what are the things to make it happen, right? And like if we need to follow certain laws, that's what we're doing. And we're like we've even deleted some tweets where we mentioned the term passive income. Like, oh man. It's like, okay, hopefully nobody will call us out on that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you guys are, you know, proactive about that, because that, like I said, is something that a lot of projects lack. But a
Yes.
couple more questions. Bemic, sorry if I said your name wrong. He asked, "Will the company be located in the United States or somewhere else?" And then also, would you be developing a mobile app to facilitate the use of the platform?
Yeah, yes and yes. I guess US based, yes, and mobile apps, yes. um,
All right.
yeah, I don't.
Anything on the roadmap then about the mobile app? I got a timeline on that, or I suppose it's pretty far out.
Yeah, like it's definitely going to be like for example, for Arcade 22, it's going to be like I don't know, whenever we're getting V1 out, and then we're already planning V2 and V3 features. Like we have so King Thor is actually also our product manager for Arcade. So we have a whole doc where we have a bunch of ideas in there, and we're just like trying to prioritize which one to do in which order, right? So we definitely have all these ideas, yes. It's just which one should we prioritize over another. Obviously, with if we do go to mobile, there are certain things to take into consideration, like integrating with Apple Pay and not. And then what are the regulations with Apple Pay and using crypto, right, on a gaming platform and all that. So all that we have to take into consideration in terms of like how quickly we can move to market.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot at play, especially in a gamified project. So glad you guys are, you know, like I said many times already, looking over all of the different, you know, kind of fields that are in play. So one other question from the same Bemic guy: will you be hiring more members to further develop after the launch?
Yes, we are. There's actually individuals. We're actively sending individuals some challenges and coding challenges that have reached out to us. Um, so yeah, there is a few developers in the pipeline right now that are doing challenges for us to try to see if they meet our our expertise, I guess, like our bar. But yeah, we're actively hiring. If you guys have any suggestions, come to our community, drop them. Like, let us know if you're interested in joining the team. We're definitely hiring more. We've actually even had new moderators join us over the last week or two. I even see one in the audience here. So yeah, I think we're looking for all types of positions. Besides devs, I think the one that I can think of is we need some designer, right? Like that's good at that might be good at 3D modeling. So thinking about long-term games, as well as just graphic designers for web that can get us like mocks done on our portal and any advertisements. Anything you want to add, Thor?
No, I think you basically covered it, yes.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, expanding the team, definitely something that people like to see, and it's showing a lot of progress too. I mean, and then a couple other follow-up questions I had on top of that. He mentioned, will you be hiring more further to develop after launch? Speaking of launch, when is that?
Launch is to be dated yet. Like we had a poll in our community where we asked them, should we launch? So we're ready to launch. The token is ready. The audit is ready. Everything's ready. The dashboard's ready. It's the market wasn't ready, and
That's fair, yeah.
we asked the community. It's like, hey, we're ready to launch. Do you guys want to launch? And the overwhelming vote was no. We don't want to launch in this market. So what we're doing right now is we're going to be evaluating it week by week and then coming back to the community to see what they feel like, which is actually it's great because it gives us more time to bring utilities faster for the Arya token.
Right on. And then on kind of that other follow-up question about hiring more members, when would you guys yourselves as the current team members take that leap of faith and quit your 9-to-5s to go full-time on this?
Yeah, I'm actively planning that actually.
Yeah, definitely.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think Thor even pinged me the other day, right? Like you're like, when can I quit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think immediately post-launch, if we see how well we're doing and we launch Arcade 22 successfully, that is I think that in my view, that is our time to be like, hey, Arya is ready to, all the members will be full-time Arya, and then we'll be looking to expand with a lot more roles.
All right. Yeah, I was just trying to get the timeline in place because I'm assuming that you'd probably go full-time before you would hire on more people. So just wanted to kind of make that connection there.
For sure, yeah, and I mean, most of us are literally full time right now, right? Like we're
Full-time on top of full-time?
I don't, yeah, I don't know how we're operating actually. Like we literally do 2 full-time jobs each, and technically, I'm on the clock right now at my day job while I'm doing an AMA.
That's funny. That's awesome. So you did touch up on that you guys will have an audit ready, or actually do already have the audit ready prior to launch.
Yes, audit has been done, yes.
Awesome. So on top of that, kind of on the same security questions of things, do you guys have a KYC in place too?
Yes, we're KYC'd with the Obsidian console.
Okay, awesome.
So currently only me and Ichigo are on the KYC. And just recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the Obsidian console offered to add more members to the KYC. So King Thor here, as well as Bosoro and Shadow, they're all on in the process actually of also being KYC'd. On top of that, actually, King Thor here is a Docs member on the team. So
Yes.
he's basically known. So do we want to use your real name here or go with Thor?
Oh, you can use my real name if you can go for it.
Yeah, so it's Dean, everybody. Thor is actually Dean Deploy. If I butchered the last name
No,
there.
you actually pronounced it correctly.
Sweet.
Well done, man.
Well, it's nice to officially meet you, Dean.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, that's awesome to hear. I know Council of Obsidian is definitely an already reputable group. I know they started not too long ago, but they're headed by Jesse Eckel, right? The YouTuber.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really like his stuff, so that's awesome to hear that.
Yeah, he's I like his videos too. Like and I don't even know how I actually found the Obsidian Council. I can't remember. It was everything was moving so fast back then, but like I think it resulted in good traffic on our Discord server. And Dean here, I think is a member that came through that traffic, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct, yes. That's how I come across the project through Obsidian, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, growing the team through a KYC. That's awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, I know we're kind of jumping around here a little bit, but the other questions I kind of wanted to touch up on would be, you mentioned that there's going to be the in-game items that are NFTs that people would buy for in the Arya token, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those items would obviously have different utilities within the games themselves, and that's kind of your whole model of getting volume to the token to kind of get those reflections, not rebases, reflections to those current holders. Is there
Yes, I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is there anything you want to kind of further touch up on there with how that's going to work? Like, is it going to be an in-game marketplace for each different game, or is it going to be all combined into one? Or there's just a lot of different ways that could look. So curious to hear your thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think I don't know if you've actually played Roblox, right? But like how it works is you pay money and then you get the in-game currency, right? So it's like a direct US dollar to in-game money exchange, right? So the plan for us is very similar, right? Like what would happen is users come in, you can't really spend US dollars, so hey, buy our token, in-game currency. So you get that. Once you have that, what we will do is, we'll actually go buy it on the blockchain and make sure it sits in a treasury for the game. And then the same concept with the NFTs, right? Like the NFTs, we will have a marketplace within the game. You'll be able to trade it with individuals for other items, like basically exchanging one NFT for another, or you could literally be listing your NFT for sale. And we won't add a restriction to add for you to sell it outside of our ecosystem, right? Like we will allow you to take the NFT out of our game and actually sell it on like other platforms like OpenSea or Coinbase NFT marketplace or whatever else comes through. So hopefully that answers, and I don't know if you want to touch on anything else there.
Yeah, that's straightforward. I'm vaguely familiar with how Roblox works, so the different games kind of have their own ecosystems and marketplaces within them. If I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah, we might touch on that, or I'm thinking of like just keeping it at high level. It'll all depend on how we will integrate third-party developers into our world as well. We definitely plan to have the ability for third parties to come in and build on our stuff as well. It's just we haven't planned that far ahead yet.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. So I think that's all the questions that I had. If anybody else has any other questions, I do actually see one in chat, but it'd be an awesome time to ask your questions. Flash Phoenix says, will you be able to buy Arya token with a credit card, or will users need to get a MetaMask account?
So in initial launch, everything's on blockchain, right? So it's going to be Pancake Swap with MetaMask wallet and whatever other wallets you use. Once we get to our platforms, it's we definitely like RK22. We're already looking at solutions for both crypto as well as credit card payments. I can tell you we've looked into Stripe, but I think also Circle. Circle is the company that created USDC, which is the stable coin that we'll be using. So I think I'm leaning towards their solutions to accept credit card payments as well as crypto payments. And then once we get to the metaverse, I think we will be, we'll launch our own game that'll be able to play on Macs and PCs. But once we get on to like more native devices like iPads, iPhones, Android devices, we'll probably go and look into how to do the Apple Pay or Android Pay, whatever they're called, right?
Yeah, that
So
makes
that's
sense.
definitely all planned. We just need to figure it all out how it'll like transaction because there with like let's say Apple Pay, just to add a little bit more, like you do a payment, like we would not get that payment immediately, right? Like there is a delay, so will need to figure out all that, like with how it'll integrate with the blockchain. Because for us, we'll be going out and actually acquiring the tokens. But if somebody then has a bad transaction happen, like how do we deal with that? So that's stuff we will need to figure out.
Yeah, I know personally from experience, I've talked to a bunch of different options or solutions that people provide that offer the fiat to crypto option directly on a website. And from what I've understood and learned, it's that there are a lot of things in beta right now, but nothing out that is kind of a tangible product that you can actually use today. So that would be huge, though. Breaking down that barrier to entry. Not everybody is going to be familiar with the MetaMask, especially a parent just trying to buy some tokens for their kid that wants to play some games. But
Yeah.
that would be awesome to break that barrier down. So I actually do have a referral if you guys would be interested. It's a service called Ember. They have a payment gateway on that they can integrate with your website that will allow you to purchase those tokens with US dollars or any fiat currency that they support. They're not quite released yet. I think they said that their beta for that fiat system will be released in a month or two. But if that's something that interests you, I don't know if you end up not going with your other options that you were exploring, that would be another option. So just thought I'd shout that out.
Yeah. Feel free to send it to us. Yeah, I think the one that I'm currently leaning on is most likely going to be the Circle solution. Um, just they're huge, I think, and they give um, the whole API integration. It looks very simple actually on there, and
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. We had one more question from Lovchenko. He said, "Could you provide an elevator pitch I could use to shill the project to my friends?"
uh, elevator pitch. Gosh, putting me on the spot here, huh? Uh, all right. Arya Token. You earn rewards in USDC. Where transactions will be driven by the utility of the metaverse and games. So every in-game purchase will be directly linked to Aria Token. So that's how we're going to be boosting transactions, which in return will be rewarding Aria Token holders in USDC. That'll be my quick pitch there. I don't know if that was good enough.
I think that's phenomenal. Short and sweet and simple, right to the point. So I think that does it fair. The other question,
Awesome.
one more question we had actually before we wrap it up. Are you going to partner with other projects?
Uh, yeah, I mean we've had some kind of I guess partnerships here and there already. Like we had an AMA, like for example yesterday, with Oracle Finance. They are a another KYC by Obsidian project, and we just kind of like connected And the reason why we shared an AMA is because, hey, we both are rewarding our users with stable coins, which was a common thing. So it allowed our audience to ask, questions on the two projects, and we're tackling the problem of rewards in very different ways. So we're doing gamification. They're doing it more as a financial instrument. So, and then we've obviously had also the quantum liquidity partnership for with Sphere. So yeah, that is still there, and then we're definitely looking for more partnerships there and possibilities. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know we're actually in a group chat right now with Oracle Finance, and we're setting up an AMA for this server, so we'll get to hear from them too.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Crypt and Yebi, right?
Yes, yep.
Yep. Yeah, I have another AMA with Crypt or Yebi tomorrow on their Discord. So
Okay,
busy.
awesome. Yeah, AMAs are definitely spreading like wildfire in the last couple of months. It's
Yes.
becoming very popular. And then we got one more question, the last question, and then we'll wrap it up. Any plans to list on major exchanges like Binance or Coinbase?
Yeah, how much would it cost us though? That's my first thought that comes to
Yeah, that would be not cheap.
Yeah, I mean that would be like goals right there, right? Like I can tell you that we are looking into venture capitalists to get funded as well for this. If we can get that, I would say that is a sure road for getting listed on a major exchange. Um, just the exposure of being a funded project, I think, would be enough to get us listed. So yeah, I would say let's try it, let's go for it, shoot for the moon.
Yeah, I do actually have some interesting statistics on pricing for centralized exchanges. So something small like Coin Tiger, for example, they were between 10 and 12,000. I would not
Okay.
recommend them though. I had a terrible experience with them. Maybe we could talk about that at a later time. But then you step it up to something like a Bitmart. They're a lot more popular than all these other smaller exchanges that you probably never heard of before. They are $70,000 just to list your token, and then they also offer additional promotional services for upwards of $30,000 more. Then you can go to your Coinbase and Binance. They are multiple six figures, like 200 to 300,000 just to get listed. So it's not cheap for anybody wondering. It is not cheap.
All right, guys, you hear that? So get your kids to play our games once they're
That's funny. But yeah, those are all the questions that everybody had. Is there any other kind of last things that you guys wanted to touch up on?
I think we have a small giveaway, Thor, right? For people that attended.
Yes, yeah. We have one whitelist spot for every 10 members here on the AMA, and I see we have 20 people in the audience, so I guess then we can give away 2 whitelist spots.
Yeah. I can get a random number generator pulled up on my recording, and I can generate 2 random numbers between 1 and 20 for how many people are in the audience, and whoever name it lands on will win the spot. So here we go.
Okay,
Number
perfect.
5 is, I don't know if they all are showing up in the same order for me, but 5 is Michael S. And then the second number is number 1. Flash, his name's cut off. Flash Phoenix. So
I see.
Michael
He
S.
just got whitelisted yesterday, so he's
Oh,
not
he's already
valid.
whitelisted? All right. Then it is number 10. That is Glenn Gary. Is he already on the
Alright.
whitelist?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
All
I'm not
right.
aware.
Well, now he is. So congratulations, guys.
Yeah, congratulations, guys.
Do they?
Michael S. and Glenn Gary, huh? Congrats.
Do they need to send you guys anything like a white or a wallet address or just a Discord ID?
Yeah,
Yeah.
send the ID to Thor or me, and then we'll add and obviously be on our server, and we'll add you to a role of whitelist.
All right. Sounds good. I will get the Discord linked, and then I'll also add you to our pre-launch project section. So it's been phenomenal hearing from you guys, and I wish you guys the best of luck going up until your launch and beyond. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the generous whitelist spots.
Yeah, thank you, Zach, for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. So best of luck and take care.